Alright guys, I just got my Tesla video finished. Now I'm going to talk about a stock that I really do support, and that stock is Sprint stock. Listen, I hate Sprint as a company, but I mean 5-6 months ago what happened is SoftBank was going to acquire Sprint, and SoftBank and the CEO of SoftBank is a genius with telecoms. He's done incredibly well with SoftBank. SoftBank has a really big profit, and they just do amazingly well. I mean, their plans, the CEO's plans for towers and expansion would make Sprint, I believe, one of the largest telecom in the United States. I mean, it's worth it to buy. I mean, I was telling people 6 months ago when Sprint was about $5.70 a stock that they need to go and buy Sprint. And lo and behold, we're a few months later, Sprint has been steadily rising. We hit $5.90, then we hit $6, then we hit $6.70, then we hit $7.15, and now we're all the way at $10.75 because there is a talk of a T-Mobile merger. Now, the problem with that, this is a little bit, I don't have a magic ball, so I can't tell you whether it's worth it to you or not, but I can tell you Sprint stock is worth $10.75, right? It's still really kind of bargain basement price for a humongous telecom that has, I mean, a huge reach and now has a leader with a history of doing great things. You take Verizon stock, and Verizon stock is $49.14. It's, you know, if Sprint keeps growing at this pace, it's up 67% in the past 2 months. You know, it's worth it to take the chance if you want to buy a little bit of Sprint stock, especially if they end up acquiring T-Mobile. I mean, that would be humongous. T-Mobile, Deutsche Telekom has wanted to get rid of T-Mobile for years now, all the way back with the failed AT&T merger, and I honestly think that there's a possibility that this could go through. I mean, the FCC really didn't like the AT&T T-Mobile merger, but this could go through. I mean, the SoftBank was able to acquire Sprint. I mean, it could go through, and that stock, if that does happen, will be worth a lot more. I mean, just looking at Verizon completely stopped its expansion in a lot of markets, and it's sitting at around $50. And you take AT&T stock, which is still worth $35 right now, and they have significantly less LTE coverage than Verizon, and they're still up there. I mean, these stocks are 3-4 times the price of Sprint right now. It's a pretty good idea. And then you take T-Mobile stock, and T-Mobile stock right now is sitting at a T-Mobile stock is actually, I believe, on a different exchange, but T-Mobile stock is $33.64, and I believe they have let's see how much. They have a lot less coverage than any of the bigger providers, including Sprint. So that merger, it has a chance to make that Sprint stock worth a lot. I believe that the people who originally held Sprint stock as well during the SoftBank acquisition received a stock for stock. So people who had 5,000 shares now had 10,000. Which those people are sitting pretty fucking pretty right now because they spent, you know, a couple grand, or they spent 10 grand, and now they spent 10 grand originally, and then they made an extra 30 off of their stock if they sell it. So it's worth it. I mean, just like Tesla was worth it when it first started out. Is it worth it at $150? No. Would Sprint be worth it at $40? No. Sprint has awful coverage, but right now they're a good long-term holding, especially if you're thinking about buying Bitcoin and shit like that. You have no idea where Bitcoin's going to go, or Litecoin, or anything like that. Sprint has a very clear path, and a lot of stocks is just playing off of other people's fears and reading the market and seeing what's going on. But, you know, when you have a company that has very sure signs that it's going up and has gone up for the past few months, it's a pretty good sign that they're probably going to do well. But anyways, this is Austin Haskins with AMHD Productions. If you have any questions, any comments, just shoot it down there. Please subscribe and let me know what you think, guys.